were always helping out with fundraising stuff, and it was decided to try to do a pasta party. And so Carla and John had come over to the house, and they asked me if I would do it. And I said sure, but I've never cooked for this many people before. But it's a math problem. It's not a big deal. We'll buy a pound of macaroni, we'll buy a pound of meat, we'll buy a pound of sausage, get me the plate that we're going to use, and we'll figure out how many plates per pound, and that's how many pounds we have to buy, and that's what we do. So they came over, and it was really a funny thing because they said, well, we want you to come over to the Kimberton Fire Hall for their pasta party that they were doing, their spaghetti dinner. And I said, I'll go, but I'm not going to eat any of that stuff because the meatballs are going to be perfectly round. They're going to be frozen. The gravy is going to be coming out of a big pot that out of a big jar or can. They warm it up, and that's what they're going to call spaghetti sauce. I don't eat that stuff, but I will have the desserts, which were very good. But we saw what they did, but we also had it set up where it was done more professionally in the sense that they used plastic knives and forks, and we didn't do that. We grated Parmigiano Reggiano. They had Kraft, what they call Parmesan. And just so you know, if it doesn't say Reggiano on it, it's not from Italy. So they were using all of the stuff that was, the Italians would say Mitigan, which was American. It was an American way of doing it, not the Italian traditional way. So the way of making the gravy, the way of making the meatballs was taught by my mom, who was taught by her mom and her mom before that and her mom before. So these recipes have been passed down for generation after generation and stuck to the way that things were done. And so when they first talked about doing this, I said, sure. And you learn sometimes, as people say, you learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes. And this has always been a work in progress. So the first time that we were doing this, I was working in our own house, in the kitchen. And when you're getting all the stuff together and everything out there, once you start, you don't want to finish. So 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're done, put it in the fridge and do all that. And then you start the next day. And it was really a tough thing with having one regular stove. And then what happened was someone called and said, hey, the local newspaper would like to interview you. Okay, now we already bought all the stuff. We were going to have a certain number of people. We were all ready to go. Now the interview comes, and we got more people to come. Then somehow there's a radio station someplace in Westchester. They called and said, hey, we read this article about you. They thought I was a chef. So I pretended to be a chef, and I went through the whole thing with them, and we got more people to come. So that was kind of how it started. Then as time went on, we were then able to get one of the local nonprofits where we were able to use their kitchen, and we could get more of it done. So, it's a night of shopping for all the stuff. On Friday, we work from, I don't know, probably